Good evening, and in Russian, we say Dobry Vyecha. Good evening. That's about 22 hours in Moscow where the World Cup is taking place. But tonight, of course, there is a break. There will be a resumption on Tuesday. My name is Issa Moni. This is News 360. Welcome.
Absolutely. I'm Natalie Force. A look at the top stories this evening. The New Patriotic Party rounds off its National Delegates Conference with Thanksgiving service.
Socio-cultural beliefs and practices inhibit World Health Organization advocacy for medical facilities globally to support organ donation from deceased persons.
Also ahead this evening, Mio District Assembly in the Northern Region supports persons with disability to go into farming.
On mission, pupils of Gidipoi DA Basic School in the Volta region provided with school uniforms for the first time in 5 years.
And on the foreign front this evening, Brazilian judge orders release of ex-president Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva.
Living organ donation remains the mainstay of transplantation in many parts of the world, despite efforts by WHO and professional bodies to increase the technical capacity of medical facilities globally to support organ donation from deceased persons. The International Transplant Network says many of the controversial areas of practice revolve around exploitation of living donors.
Organ transplantation is one of the most complex procedures in medicine. It involves dealing with the medical aspect of the recipient patients in parallel to dealing with the matched donor in case of a living donor or his family for a deceased donor. According to the Global Observatory on Donation and Transplantation, 126,670 solid organs were transplanted in 2015, of which 41.8% were living kidney transplants and 21% living liver transplants. To update the media on organ donation and transplantation, the International Transplant Network organized a workshop in Istanbul, Turkey. Participants included doctors, organ transplant coordinators, and 60 journalists from 30 countries. Topics discussed included global challenges, Turkey's organ transplant experience, and innovations in organ donation and transplantation. 83 hospitals have transplant programs at 155 transplant centers in Turkey. Types of living donor transplants performed successfully in Turkey include liver, kidney, and bone marrow. Speakers also touched on the rather complex and complicated ethical rules and religious nuances in the process of organ transplantation. A liver transplant surgeon from Medipol University Hospital, Professor Dr. Murat Dayang, explained the differences between countries in terms of suitable transplantation, safety, quality, and efficacy of donation and transplantation.
You need to have a good health system so that you will be able to support transplantation, because transplantation is very expensive. We have to admit that. And the patient needs to take immunosuppressive drugs lifelong. So you have to consider all these realities when you're talking about creating or starting a transplant system. We need to increase awareness, and we need to increase people's acceptance for donation.
Key components of organ transplantation include education and awareness, training of health professionals and defined responsibilities, as well as accountability for all stakeholders. These were some of the pointers raised at the International Transplant Network Media Workshop. From Istanbul, Turkey, Wendy Laryea, TV3 News.